Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's a lovely Friday out and it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be downpouring, or at the very least just a light rain continuously from about noon until 7-8 o'clock tonight. It hasn't done that. We did get one little spot, maybe 10 minutes of a light rain, and calling it a light rain is being generous. It's more of a heavy drizzle. So once again, the weathermen were wrong. Thank goodness we have supercomputers to tell us when we're going to get rain, and radars. Anyhoot. So I'm going to proceed with the plan that I had for today, which was to tell you about a garden I had recently gone to. It's actually a series of gardens. Instead of shooting this in the office, I thought I would come outside into the lovely sunshine and drone on for the next 5-10 minutes, boring you all and telling you about the wonderful gardens I'd recently visited. So I live near New Bern, North Carolina, and in New Bern there is a place called Tryon Palace. It was actually the first capital of North Carolina. It was pre-Revolutionary War. I'm not going to get too much into the history of that, but what I will do is talk about the gardens. So it has actually some nice gardens around it. Some are inspiring, some are wonderful. It's not the most grand, it's not Versailles. They're not the Versailles gardens, they're not the most magnificent gardens in the world, but they are quite nice. And seeing as they're a short drive from me, I thought I would share. So when you first walk in, I would say, I believe it's the north side of the building. You enter into a small courtyard next, I'll point it out on the map, just next to the stables. And in that small courtyard, there's a wall trellis and some lovely flowers growing along that. And then there are these six large brick and cement beds. They're very lovely, and at the time I visited them, they look like they were planted up with various, I don't know what they are, because I'm not very good with small, colorful flowers. They're not pansies, they're probably something else, but nonetheless, absolutely cute. You proceed along the path, and then you come into I call it a not garden. I'm sure it has another name for it, which I'll display below here. Right away, I'm awed. There's some beautiful hedging that is trimmed into various knots. I call them knots, into patterns, designs. It's a lovely garden. I missed all the tulips and the daffodils that had come up by the time I got there, but still, there are some lovely flowers there. Instead of using box for all the hedges, they used a plant called Upon. I don't know how to pronounce it. Again, I'll put the word here. It looks like box, but apparently you can make a caffeinated beverage out of it. It's native to North America, and if I can get my hands on it, I will try to use it extensively here. If it's native, it's not invasive, I'll use it. There's also some statuary in the space, which again adds height, structure, makes everything look lovely and grand. Large brick walls, and there's a fountain in the middle. Now the fountain wasn't on that day, sadly, but I can only imagine if that fountain was turned on, the sound of trickling water just would have been magnificent. You proceed out of that and you go down a what they call, the name escapes me. I'll put it here because again I'm having terrible loss for words today. So you proceed down that, and just tucked off that to one side is another lovely garden. Not too much going on at this time of the year. I can only imagine at some point later on in the year it's even better. And if you proceed down a little further down the path, you basically see the main lawn, or the back lawn of the palace, that overlooks the New Bern, the Neuse River, I believe it is. I think it's the Neuse River. Yes, I think it's the Neuse River. If I'm wrong, I'll put it here. Either way, it overlooks the river. It's absolutely lovely. And then it's a huge lawn area. Proceed around the, I don't know which direction, I'll point it on the map. Proceed around the perimeter pathway, and then you go through some nice wooded areas, which have various trees, magnolias, and I can't remember some of the others. I'm doing a terrible job of this, aren't I? But you proceed, it's lovely shaded areas, and you proceed past all that into then the kitchen garden. The kitchen garden then just blew me away. It's a large walled garden that they grow vegetables in, and fruits and whatnot. Bigger than my property used to be in New York, so it has to be more than a quarter acre. It is large. It has 2 wells, or what would have been wells. Today they're just mock wells. They have some water in them, basins. I guess they catch rainwater. Now, they're still lovely. They have a lot of espalier. Again, I will put the thing right here. I do apologize. I'm really fumbling through this. They have many of those. Essentially, they go along the walls and along the fences that surround the vegetable garden. It looks like everything is pretty much mulched with straw, which is great for retaining moisture in the ground. All sorts of berries, onions. What was the one that blew me away? Cardoon. Massive cardoons. Just incredible plants. They had let some rosemaries grow large, ridiculously large. It had to be 3 to 4 feet tall. There were many onions in the ground. Strawberries. There were strawberries there. And then there's definitely around the whole perimeter, beautiful brick pathways. And then there was a secret little window off to one side that looked out onto another garden. But I couldn't find the entrance. So that was pretty exciting. We continued down the pathways to the end of the kitchen garden. There was a little doorway that we went through, and then we stumbled across this other garden that I had seen through the window in the kitchen garden. And that garden is called the Kellenberger Garden. That garden was dedicated for the person who I believe also helped raise funds and again help restore Tryon Palace and make it what it is today. Wonderful museum. There was some sort of vine growing up one side of a wall. There was again topiary cut into various shapes and sizes. There were ferns in shady spots on the wall embedded into the wall. It was just absolutely wonderful. Again, another fountain which sadly wasn't turned on, but just stunning. Again, absolutely wonderful. We then snaked around to the back of after we saw this garden, we then went back around to the back of the palace, and we proceeded along the back, and I stopped and I took this wonderful picture of basically from the back door looking out across the lawn to the river. It's absolutely wonderful. And we found this other little garden which I had seen on the map, but we didn't see it when we initially came in because it's sort of tucked off to one side, and I think of it as a secret little garden, and it's absolutely wonderful. All the pathways are in gravel, they're lined in brick, and all the planting is very low. They're just lovely, various different flowers, sedums, low miniature shrub bushes. There's a sculpture in the middle of looks like a little cherub baby. I'm not good with these things. If you know what it is, please leave a comment below. It's just a wonderful place. And if you're in Eastern North Carolina and you're near New Bern, if you're ever going to be here, do yourself a favor and go visit Tryon Palace. It's actually, I'm mispronouncing it. It's Tryon Palace. So Tryon Palace is the proper pronunciation. I do apologize. Again, if you're in Eastern North Carolina, go take a look at it. It's absolutely wonderful. And that's about all I have to say for today. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links below. I have some merchandise. You can buy yourself a mug, t-shirt, whatever. If you don't follow me on Instagram, give a follow on Instagram. I will put a link someplace around here. I often post pictures there that I don't post up on, or that you don't see here on YouTube. And I think that's about it for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.